Sorcery Story with the raid. Thank you, Hey Foolbox. We're going to be right in. We're just getting started. An ad break is going to start in like 30 seconds. You guys are very early. This is like our start of the stream ad that gets run. We will be diving in just a second. I want to hear all about your stream, Sorcery Story. Thank you for the follow. I'm assuming you do game dev. Is that right? I'm following you. If you don't do game dev, you're still followed. I want to hear all about it. We'll be right here, right after the ads. Be right back. Yes, good. I want to hear about it. Hello! How are we doing today? Welcome in, everyone. It is so wonderful to see you all today. Okay. First off, howdy hey, everyone. How we doing? We had a lot of people early in today. Let's deal with this for a moment. Let's do our debt here. Jack, hello. Shakesnecks, hello. You got second, 100%. Tom Millman himself, welcome in. I'm pleased to be your fourth streamer you have open here today. Foolbox, I'm assuming this raid is your fault. And Sorcery Story, thank you for listening to Foolbox. And if not, just I'm thrilled, because Foolbox is a great guy. I'm glad to have him raiding in regardless. Down V on YouTube. Even you can make video games. This is Down V and you're experiencing a viewer experience. Ostrich says Foolbox. Don't mind the thing I said. You're good, Dev. I thought it was funny. Jack, regular egg. Regular egg is fine. Sorcery Story, all of the eggs. All right, we got a tie between over easy and scramble. That makes about sense. What's Fabergé? Oh, that's right. Foolbox is in. I do need to put the fez on. You're right. Foolbox is here. And I just picked up the top hat as well. It'll be coming in on Monday. So, Fabergé eggs are, oh, I spelled it wrong. It's Faberge egg. Okay, there we go. Right on. Hello. Sorcery Story, thank you for the raid. It is so great to have you here. Manfred von Richthofen, hey, good to see you. I remember seeing you in somebody else's stream. Great to have you in here. Raw egg. I should have had that as an option. Just full-on protein mode. Sorcery Story, how was your stream? I've never seen your stream. I want to hear about it. What do you do? What are you building? Everybody else, welcome in. If this is your first time here, we're a charitable organization devoted to helping people develop the skill sets that they need in order to enter the video game industry. And I'm starting with myself. So I am building a game to have this dog right here rescue the soul of his dead owner. So you will navigate through the wilds and jump. The only action you can take is jump through the platforms, pick up this loot, spend the loot on your relationships with nature deities, and get various boons and banes because, the gods you give the tribute to will like you and they'll help you out. And the gods that don't like those gods are going to try and hurt you. They don't like that. They're very jealous of each other. So you go through, navigate, roguelike style, Hades style progression, get to the end, rescue your owner's soul, and bring him back to life. That's the game. Okay, great. So that's what we're building here today. We're building out this boon system right now. Kay Hadao, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? You made it. You were our on the ball from the earlier vertical live stream we did. It was an interesting experiment, by the way. I'm going to write a full write-up on our Game Dev Streamer Discord. By the way, if you stream Game Dev and you want to talk with other like-minded individuals, started up a Discord. We got all sorts of great people in there. We got Foolbox in there. We got Sockhouse, by the way. Howdy hey, Sockhouse. We've got Odd Oculus. We got all sorts of cool people in there. And we're all sharing what we're learning and what's working and what's not working. So I'm going to throw a post up there on the vertical stream in the shorts feed for YouTube. It was very interesting. And let me know. Would love to have people there. Okay, Sorcery Story. It was good. I'm building an RPG and base building combo game. Wow, someone's ambitious. My goodness. I had to end stream to go eat my dinner, and I'll be back in a bit. No worries. You go eat that dinner. I hope it's delicious. I leave my chat in your capable hands. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate that trust. Okay, Hadao, interview yesterday went really well. Got to the second round. Congrats. That's awesome. High five, dude. Clap with me. Yay. Congratulations, K Hadao. That's wonderful. New human, yes, Sockhouse. Yeah. Yeah, this is the little guy. All right, everyone's saying hi to each other. This is great. I would stream, but I'm just lazy. Hey, man, that's not laziness. Tons of people don't stream, and they make games, and they do cool stuff. That doesn't mean they're lazy. It just means, like, this is what works for me, and this is what doesn't work for me. And I know, in fact, doing it my way, the way that we're doing it right now, is kind of not recommended. Unless you have an audience, it's really recommended that you do your game dev on your own time, and then you make YouTube content, because that's very discoverable. And then you focus on that YouTube content. And then once you get a following, you can bring them over to Twitch. We're doing it a little bit backwards. We're kind of doing it weird stuff. Your child looks in terror as you try to help him clap. He's my little guy. He's a good dude. All right, so where were we at yesterday? We were debugging things, and we're going to keep debugging, but because it's a little dry, we're going to talk about the Pirate Software Jam while we do this. Platform spawn rate up. This is our next one. Enemy spawn rate down. So, I'm glad we waited a day. Game Jam Talk. Yes, we're going to have Game Jam Talk right now. I'm glad I waited a day, because yesterday, it's good to let the dust settle a little bit. Whenever you start reacting in like in a really emotional state, it's good to just, put the pause on things. Let it all percolate, let it germinate, figure out what are you really feeling. So yesterday, they released the results for the Pirate Software Game Jam. And that was after 4 weeks of waiting, including a 2-week delay. And we said it was rigged because we didn't win. That's right. We did say it was rigged because we didn't win. And it is rigged because we didn't win. But the big thing is that the feedback was released. I had no illusions we were going to win. It was the team and I's first game jam we've ever completed in. It was almost all of ours very first like game that we had built, at least in like a non-student sort of realm. I had no illusions that we were going to take this thing home. You want your food? Yeah, okay. There we go. All right. So yeah, I didn't think we were going to win. It was fine. What I was looking for was just feedback and trying to learn, you know, did people like this? Did one of these big celebrity guest streamers play the game and enjoy it? Because that would be awesome. I'd love to have a pull quote that I could use for my marketing, right? Say, come play the game that Co-Carnage said was kind of okay. I'd love to put that in big bold letters on a YouTube video, right? However, the feedback that we got was disappointing. I'll put it that way. It was only from one person. It was anonymous, so I don't even know who it was. And it basically just said, I couldn't figure the game out, so I don't know how the theme was implemented. 1 out of 10. Which, like, okay, we knew it was going to be a bit impenetrable. That's the feedback we've been hearing the whole time. We knew the UX needed a really hard pass and revision in order to get going well. Ugh, that sucks. Yeah, it was a real bummer. It was a real bummer. And, like, I was expecting it was hard to figure out. I was expecting that. We knew that was coming. Was it only one review or one comment? One comment. I don't know how to check how many reviews there were. I played for like 5 minutes and understood more than that. So here's the thing. They gave us a 1 on theme implementation, and they specifically said I couldn't figure out how the theme worked in, which tells me that they didn't do the very first action in the game. Because literally the first thing you have to do was to spread. Jack, the theme was it's spreading. And that's literally the first thing you do, is you have to play a card to spread. So if they couldn't figure out how the theme was implemented, that tells me they didn't even play the first card. Which tells me they probably took 2 seconds to look at this, and it seemed hard, and they left. I can almost guarantee they didn't look at any of the comments from all the many, like dozens of comments of people saying that they really enjoyed it. I can tell that they didn't look into the game design document, which, frankly, I was very upset about. Because, gosh, that freaking game design document was required. It was required for us to include. We had to include it. There was a submission form question saying, did you remember to include your game design document? And then another one that said, are you sure you remembered to include your design document? And it doesn't even get, like, opened? That feels bad. Felt, frankly, kind of disrespectful. If it makes you feel better, my first jam game had 0 players. They're infinitely better than I did in my first one. Oh, shoot. The struggle, dude. Yeah, so, like, really what this came down to was a matter of expectations. And that's all, like, you know, if Ben Will were in the chat here, he would say this all day long. Keeping gamers happy is a matter of establishing and delivering on expectations. And when those celebrity judges were announced, the expectation was they were going to be playing the game. I think the only people that streamed it were like excessive profanity and the animation duo, Kate and Doug or whatever. And then I think the science gal streamed 1 or 2 games. And, like, that was pretty much it. That was all that I saw. Excessive profanity, say what you will about his critiquing style. And there's a lot to say about it. But to his credit, he was actually there. He was there with the community showing things off. That's better than what most people did, frankly. And so the expectation kind of got wrecked in a lot of ways. So when it was like we worked our tails off for 2 weeks to make this thing, and then it's very clear that may not have even been one of those judges. It may have just been a community moderator, spent 5 seconds and didn't even take the first action of the game, that feels pretty bad. That feels pretty bad. My feedback was, this game is really unique, but deceiving at first. I almost gave you a bad review because nothing seemed to happen. I mean, thanks, I guess. Oh, man. Yeah, so, like, that's the thing, right? Like, it's... So anyways, I marinated in that feeling for a long time yesterday, and all of you turning out for that stream yesterday really lifted me up a lot. It was really great, and I really appreciate that. I did not want to stream yesterday. Didn't want to do it, but it's like, okay, we're a business owner. Like, we have to, like, show up. We got to do the thing. And so that was a big spirit lifter. And then I was able to kind of think about it and process it. And I think, really, I felt really surprised. I felt like it wasn't taken as seriously by judges as it was by the participants, and that's a big bummer. And then I just felt sad. You know, I felt sad that this big thing that had been set up it felt like it was taken away. Like, I don't even think that I got to any of the judges, to be frank. I think it was a community moderator. I just saw the results of the jam. There's like 50 first spots. What is that? I think there were 3 winners and then like 7 runners up. Honorable mentions. I like the Loot 'em Dare game jam. People rate each other, and you have to rate others to get ratings. There's a karma system. That's interesting. I mean, that's tough because then it's a popularity contest in a lot of ways, right? And it's like, I like the idea of having judges. I do. But I think it's really obvious now, looking back, that everyone signed up for something that they were not prepared for at the end. Right? Like, there's like 95 games with first spot. It may just be based on rating, is what you may be seeing, Fullbox. Those are games that like get 5s in each category, would be my guess. And then they went through and picked them. There's always going to be an element of human error, judges or not. Very true. Very true. If you look at like ballroom dance competitions, a lot of the keys to doing well at ballroom dance is not being really good at ballroom dance. It's being very flamboyant and running right in front of the judges and everything, you know, so that they notice you, because, you know, it's just the way it works. So I get it. Human error happens, and there's biases, 100%. That's why I really like the idea that there was going to be a guarantee of 2 different people playing and reviewing your game. Because even if you got, you know, like excessive profanity, and he thinks that clicker games are, like, actively detrimental for humanity, you'd at least have someone else to balance it out a little bit. Polygon Pilgrimage, how are you, sir? Good to see ya. And so it felt like a big rug pull in a lot of ways. But I get that they had a lot of stuff that they had to try and deal with, and they were not prepared for it. My guess as to what happened is that they got really, really big, really quick, and they didn't expect it, and they didn't have systems in place, and they didn't really know how to handle this. Like, if I got 12,000 people coming into my stream over the course of like 3 months, I'd probably do some really dumb stuff. I'd probably get influencers to come in and like talk and chat and stuff and not be able to predict how is this going to impact the community. So when they brought in the celebrity judges, it shifted expectations from, oh, this is a fun thing we're going to do and like get some feedback and, you know, who knows, maybe we'll win, that'll be fun, to all of a sudden, oh my gosh, this is career changing. Like, if a streamer looks at this game and says they like it, that is a big, big, big marketing deal, right? And then they threw the money on top of it, which, like, both of these things are really rad. I love both of these ideas. They're great, but it shifts the expectations. And then when you're not able to deliver on the expectations, that's when things get rough. And I think that's what they're seeing right now in their community, is they shifted expectations accidentally to, this is this really big, cool, exciting, career-defining event. And they were still kind of in the mentality of, this is a fun little game jam. And they weren't prepped to deliver on it, is my opinion. So I'm really curious to see what happens in June. I've seen a lot of people saying they're not going to participate in June. A lot of people are feeling very hurt. I'm not necessarily feeling that way anymore. It was a big bummer in the moment, but like I've processed it. I get what happened, and that's fine. I can extend grace and everything, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm really curious to see what Thor does in June. How is he going to level set expectations? Okay, Foolbox. Getting ratings in a jam is also about marketing, but that's for a jam where the votes come from the other devs. Sure, yeah. Mothman Centaur. I just looked at the screenshots and understood how it tied into the theme. Sorry you got someone that wasn't paying attention. Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to, right? It was just luck. It was just bad luck. And like I said, I had no illusions we were going to win at all. The most I was hoping for was just a good little soundbite for marketing, and it was a bummer. Idle clicker games are my lifeblood, says Jack. The private vote felt like a weird idea to me, says Foolbox. It's not representative of what happens in a real dev cycle. I mean, it's not, but neither are like game jams, though, right? I don't know. I got it. I thought that was a fair idea, although I don't think he wanted it to be that way. I think I saw a post from him saying, like, he was disappointed that Itch kept the feedback private until the end, but... Are we soapboxing on the game jam? I already voiced my critique. Yeah, Fortune. And I need to respond to that in our Discord. There was a really good discussion. Really good discussion. I'm really grateful for Dark Doombringer jumping in there and kind of... I feel bringing a sense of finality to it. Because it was rough. It was rough for everyone. It was a very difficult emotional space. And I get it. And people needed to chat and vent. But I'm glad that we were able to kind of get to an ending spot. And I need to go and put my thoughts on there and kind of validate that. I didn't even think about the marketing side of this. I don't know any of the judges, says Tom. Yeah, well, there you go. Fortune's favorite, I got a lot of complaints along the same line. Yeah. Shepherdstown, how you doing? I like idle clickers. I like idle clickers too. I mean, I like active clickers. I like incremental games of all sorts. I think they're going to be the next roguelike sort of element that's going to be worked into all sorts of games. Like every game's a roguelike nowadays, practically, which I love. I love roguelikes, and they're really easy to develop because of a lot of reasons. But I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to happen. I think it's just a matter of time. Foolbox. Game Jam is more representative of what happens on Steam. Gamers choosing and surface games that are interesting. If you mix that with marketing, you get closer to the task you need to do for your game to be successful. You know what? I think that's a fair point. I understand where you're coming from there. I think that's a very valid point. Leaving it up to the market. And that's where I think they need to go with this. I think they need to declare very explicitly, is this a game jam for refining your craft? In terms of like, let's talk about how to make better games and practice? Or is it, let's do a competition and get the best possible product that we can? Because that's very different, right? Most of the games that were in like the most popular list, frankly, I thought weren't all that great. I didn't think they were very interesting, unique, wild, wacky ideas. But they were clearly things that people were able to deliver on in a short time frame and make it very highly polished. I think there's a space for that. But I think there needs to also be a space for come up with weird, wacky ideas and see how it goes. I want to make a cursed idle clicker now. Nice. Fortune's favorite. My most played game on Steam is an idle game. I'm kind of ashamed. Why are you ashamed of that? Why is that a shaming moment? I'm waiting for foxhollowgames jam. Okay, heck yeah, says Shepherdstown. So, a couple of things to point out. First off, we are planning on doing a game jam. It is going to happen. I just don't know when. I would consider sponsoring this. Oh, you guys are great. In a way, most of life is about setting and dealing with expectations. Yeah, very true. So, I definitely do want to do a game jam. Multiple people have expressed interest in doing it. I want to talk with Tabugus and kind of see how their game jam goes, because they are in the middle of a game jam. By the way, go check out Tabugus. Let me shout them out. They are actively doing a game jam right now, and it's a very chill, I think Godot-specific game jam, but I may be wrong on that. They're a neat streamer. I think they're live right now. And definitely go check them out. They do cool stuff. And once they finish their game jam, I want to kind of get the report from them and see how did that go? What have they learned? What were things that worked and what don't? And then really analyze the Pirate Software stuff. And as soon as we get like a decent amount of people saying, yeah, we want to do this, then we'll design the best game jam I can, and we'll go for it. It'll be a very relaxed one. I do like the idea of having some sort of sponsorship monies. I'd love to do like $100 prize. I really like that idea of like the winner gets a free ticket to put it on Steam if they want. I like that a lot. I think that's a very low but encouraging bar that works for everyone. Foolbox says, no, it's for everyone. Oh, so it's not Godot specific. It's technology agnostic. Cool. Great to know. Thank you, Foolbox. Appreciate that. So yeah, they're doing it. I think it runs till March 3rd. So definitely go check Tobugus's game jam out. It seems really rad. Just chill, a nice change of pace from what we've been seeing and stuff. Laurels? What is all cap? Give everyone laurels. Here's your wreath. Remember that this is a signifier that your glory fades tomorrow. But I mean, something like that. I need to step away, bear back. No worries, Fortunes. No worries. So we do definitely want to do a game jam. I want to make that a regular thing here. I really do. I want to design it in such a way that it works for people, though, where it fits into lives. I'm not going to lie. In the team that I had, one of our team members, our lead dev, put in very long hours with a new baby and a family, and it was rough. It was very, very rough. And I think that kind of came from that competition sort of mindset that those judges and everything encouraged. I want to get away from that. I want people to be able to participate. I want it to be low key. I want to give tremendous value to everyone who participates. So it can't just be a prize for the main person. There needs to be something that people are able to win and get without winning, right? Like there needs to be something they get back. So I'm trying to think about how do we do that? Tobugus is doing something cool where they commit to play every single game on stream and give it feedback. I think that's a very good call. I think that's definitely an element of it, and I want to figure out more. I want to figure out more value, because the key to this is not how do we just do like something good. This has to be outrageously valuable to everyone who participates. Because if it's not outrageously valuable, then no one's going to do it. Because they're busy. They're adults. They have kids. They have lives. They have things they want to do. How do we get it so valuable without incurring that problem of now people feel like they have to devote their lives to it? And that's a tricky design problem to noodle out. They help pages look more official for other things. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like an award. I got it. Yeah. I that's an interesting thought. Sustainability jam? Yeah. You can make an anthology like Indiepocalypse. Ooh, we need to talk about that. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that would look like, but I'm curious. What about making a rule that the progress must be streamed? That way they share and people can learn from watching. You only get X number of hours and you can spread them out, but only have so many. That's an interesting thought. I think that would be a fun thing to do with like our game dev streamer Discord guild that we have. I think that would be a fun thing, and that would be a good piece of content for everyone. I don't know that I want to force everyone to stream in order to participate in a general game jam, because a lot of people don't want to stream. But there may be something to that. Like, in order to participate, you don't necessarily have to put together a game design document, but you do have to do a postmortem. And we're going to talk about your postmortem after the game jam. And you can maybe come on the stream, or you can just submit it as a document. Even if it's just a few sentences of like, what did you learn? I could see that being very valuable. There's a jam, I don't remember which one, that has a first jam tag where newcomers have their own rating ladder. What? And compete against each other. That's a great idea. And more experienced people are in another. I love that idea. I really love that idea. And I think that goes back to what is the purpose of the jam, right? Is the jam to help people get, refine their craft? Or is it to encourage them to make a game in the first place? And Shepherdstown and I were talking about this the other day. We've got to be very clear about how do we actually do this? How do you establish that expectation, right? So I'm very, very curious about that. Maybe we could do different jams. Like if we're gonna do a tiered rating system, like this is specifically to get you into making games. This is for people who have never made a game before, or want to try something very new. And we don't allow any reused code, and we don't allow reused assets, because boy, has that been a drama. Ludum Dare has different ratings for group versus solo jams, and that's also good to know. That's also an important thing. And we also need like pre-bought assets or something. And the problem is, if we start divvying it up so much, then all of a sudden there's not enough competition in each category, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and it's kind of hard to parse. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards doing doing different game jams, right? So like, if it's for first timers, it's a first timer game jam. If it's a group game jam, it's a group game jam, right? I think, and if we do them somewhat frequently, that means you're not going to qualify for every single game jam. But then you get to do the ones that you actually do qualify for. Don't even get me started on disallowing reused code in game jams. Expectations are hard. The only one I have ever fully run was 2 months with check-ins and mentorship with funding. That sounds rad. That sounds very similar to what we're trying to build here, but just 6 months instead of 2 months. The other ones I would have run was handling folks' money and saying, come back with a game in 1 month. Okay, thanks. Both of which are really game jams. All right. Okay, thanks for your patience there. Had to change a diaper. And as a parent, there are certain things you experience, so you never expect you will. And one of those things is changing a diaper and saying, "Yay, poop!" Oh, man. Okay, where are we at? Let me catch up here. More residency. Okay, head out. Just make your own plugin, then you're good. Not really forgot a word there. Okay. I really like the Cozy Autumn Game Jam, made by Fearith. Okay, we'll throw that on the list. It wasn't ever much money, though I tried to standardize it over the years, but enough to like ease the burden of rent or buy groceries, something like that. Very good, Shepherd's Hound. That's awesome. Foolbox, it's chill, there's a color palette, and people are very nice. They also have cozy springtime. So they give you a color palette? That's really interesting. Because I know a big obstacle for a lot of people when it comes to making games is art. And they think, I'm not an artist, I can't do this. But giving people a color palette? That's interesting. I wonder if you could even like give people an asset pack and have that kind of be the theme. That's an interesting idea. Here's your asset pack. You can't use anything other than this pre-built. If you want anything else added into it, you build it yourself. And that includes code. And then what do you build? I think that could be really interesting. My favorite is the Ludum Dare, for sure. You can go 48 hours with a 5-hour sleep. There was a jam I wanted to join to test out my own engine, but the mod said that's reusing code, as if others using engines is not doing the same thing. Yeah, that's a bummer. Super Robai Bros on YouTube. Am I amazing and can I build with you? I don't know why I'm on YouTube. The answer is yes to both questions, Super Robai Bros. You've hold on. Super Robai Bros, you've shared what you're building, right? I think you put it in the Discord or something and share your work. I don't know. I swear I've seen it. Also, hilarious that GameMaker 2D Fighters put his child's birth in the Share Your Work channel. Yes, of course, Super Robai Bros. Of course. We're talking game jams today. Super Robai Bros. Shepherd Sound, I love this. Making a small box for folks to work in is so good. Yeah. There'll be other game jams. There should be. It's optional, but it's a good constraint to help good creativity. Interesting. I'm assuming that's a color pack. An asset pack would be cool, Shepherd Sound. Okay. Hey, Wife Quest. I like making my own art, though. Yeah, and you're very good at it. You know, Once Karanach was awesome. It was very interesting. Sell your engine to yourself for $1. Bam, purchase asset. Yeah, that's the running joke, huh? Just the UI, says Robai Bros. Okay, that's what you shared. Was it in the UI channel? Yes, you did. Right. Of course, the dancing game. See, I need a little helper to help me remember it. As soon as it's there, everything is coming back. Do I not have you on my sticky note? I need to redo this sticky note. This needs to become a full-on spreadsheet. We've got dozens of projects and people on here. I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna build that spreadsheet. Okay. Asset pack constraint. I mean, that's something to think about. Or even, you could even do remixes on it. Like, this is an audio pack. Build something that you're inspired to from this, right? Did you read my comment about the interview on Godot Engine Official? You need to put that on your list. I did not see that. Where was that? Foolbox. Was that in chat here? I'm not seeing anything about Godot Engine Official. Oh, there was an interview yesterday on Godot Engine Official with the creator of Godot Wild Jam. That might be interesting for you to dive into that. Yes, absolutely. I'll put that on when I'm working on other things. That's a great thing to be listening to. Cool. Super Robai Bros, welcome to Twitch. Yeah, thank you for that heads up, Foolbox. I appreciate that. Love to dive into that. So yeah, I mean, it's all about, for me, how do we get how do we get people building things in a sustainable way that is encouraging to them? How do we help people to know that they can build things and to encourage them to try experimental things? Like the first Penguin Award, if you've never heard of that. The first Penguin Award was something that was created at Google, I believe, back in the day. And it was fascinating because the concept is all the penguins are standing on the iceberg and they're looking down into the water. And nobody knows if there's a sea lion in there or not. Until someone jumps in. Some penguin has to leap into the water. And then if there's blood, they stay away. And if there's not, they all jump in. And that was an award that they made of like, you tried something really risky. And I think that's great. Here's your first penguin award. I thought that was fantastic. And I've thought a lot about like maybe doing lots of different types of awards. So it's not just first place. It's like most creative leverage of fruit. You know, do a lot of different categories and make them a little silly so that it's not quite so black and white. This was the best. These were not good, you know? And I feel like that multi-directionality allows for more nuance in art and allows for a more psychologically safe space for people to work in. I don't know. These are thoughts. I may be wrong on this, but I'm interested in it, I guess I can say. If object player dot extra vulnerability, then vulnerability frames plus equals 30. Let's do that. I feel like an assortment of arbitrary but extremely specific awards are always fun. Toe Jam has an asset that everyone has to use in every game. I love stuff like that. I adore stuff like that. There's actually a film festival that happens nearby me that's put on by a radio station. And they do that. And they have a theme where it's like everyone has to include a pineapple in their short film. I love that. Okay, cool. That one's working. Great. So I think that's a way to make it safer, which is good. It's necessary. We need to do that. It's a good way to establish expectations. But then it also needs to be worth it for people. It needs to be something that is like genuinely a good use of time. There's just a goat riding a stick. That's how Dr. Seuss got big, Wife Quest? Hold on, I don't know this story. I need to know this story. How did Dr. Seuss get big off of that? Crazy limitations. Which is not what I would expect to go hand in hand with Dr. Seuss. Because Dr. Seuss is very flamboyant and breaking regulations and boundaries and rules. He's all about just smashing through all that. And, Lewis Carroll, Shakespearean. Let's invent our own words because the English language doesn't have what I'm wanting. Okay. Jump speed up. Oh, right. That's standalone variable. Yeah. Let's actually do this. Isn't that jump boost? Wait, hold on. Oh, no. This is the addition to velocity X. That's what this is. I guess we have X speed. Are we using X speed anywhere? No. So we can repurpose this. X, let's just call it X boost and Y boost. All right, dude, you don't seem like you're resting there. You're getting a lot of snores and such. Let me move you your dog, which has a dirty plate in it. Turn it, Joe. Not everything can hold everything. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got our X boost and our Y boost. So we can just, on our jump speed up, we just say X speed. Or X boost, excuse me. Equals, I don't know. We'll just set it to like 10 right now. I don't know, that's probably a bunch. And we'll fix this so it's not a magic number later. And then in our step, when we're assigning our velocity X, here we go. Velocity X equals 0. equals length dir, okay, plus x boost. So that's for the dash. And then here. Yeah, plus x boost. And that should take care of that. So jump speed up is the next one to debug. So yeah, like what are things we can do that make it worth it for, and this is my constant bar I go back to. What would make it worth it? Oh, by the way, Tobugus, thank you for the shout out. Are we dueling shout outs here, Tobugus? I just barely saw this. You can't hear this. He's streaming. He's doing his own stream. Also, we have the exact same viewer count. That's eerie. That's very eerie. How does the single mother with 3 kids find the time and the value to actually do this? And that's what I keep coming back to. How do we make it so valuable that it's a no-brainer for people to jump into without completely wrecking expectations? X boost. We can just do that. X boost. Okay, and that to do is scratched off. Let's check it out. 0 to 10. Good. Good, good. Hey, guy, you're making a lot of noises. You need to hold you again? He's been getting in a real, like, cuddly mood where he can't sleep very well unless he's being held. I know. Come here. Okay. I know. Those lights are so bright, huh? Those lights are so bright. Do you want to say hi to chat? All right. Let's try this instead. Oh, come here. Oh, you got the hiccups? All right. Dash length. So that's attack frames. Oh dear. There's a dog. This is why you're all here, right? All right, family life. Excuse you all. Get out of here. You don't need to be here. All right. Okay. And let's clip this invisibility cloak back. Goodness gracious. All right. Are we happy with the dog sniffing us? Are we good? Is that like the go to sleep? Meme voice. I would like to see the baby. All right, dude. Come here. Oh, come here. All right. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, I know we're being a little sad, huh? Being a little sad. A little princeling. And you are super wet. Doesn't smell like pee, but it's definitely in the pee space. Great. Baby, it is hard being so small. Ain't that the truth? When you're so small, you can't even, like, deal with your own gas efficiently. You gotta have someone do bicycle kicks for you. That's a rough life, I'll tell you right there. All right, so we got dash length. This is pro parenting, by the way. I don't know if you can tell, but my thumb is holding up his bottle so that I can type on the other hand. So we got attack counter. And it needs to not be... It actually should be frames. Yeah, it should be frames. Not counter. I had it right. And then I had it wrong. We have a standing stream today, a sitting stream yesterday. Gonna need an on the force stream to see the dog. All that takes is for her to start barking, and then we just lift her up and let her say hi to chat. We've done it a couple of times. Once she feels that the end times are coming. You could not hear that. But she just gave me the biggest sass. She's laying down over there, the Artemis, the collie. And as soon as I finished that line about saying the end times are upon us, she just went like such a sassy Dad. Oh, little guy, you were hungry. My goodness. Yeah, that was a good eat. Do you want to do Superman? Oh, let's do Superman. Okay. That's the one, Mothman. That's the one. Here comes Wife Quest to the rescue. Say hi, Artemis. And there's Wife Quest's face reveal, by the way. There you go. We got the corgi down here, too. You want to say hi to chat? You're barking. Come here. Say hi. Yeah. Oh, and there's Artemis. All right, guys. Go. Run. Be free. Run and be wild. My dog does what I call old man groans. It's hilarious. Like and Moss Flower on YouTube. Thank you so much. Oh, gosh. You're all great. You're all great. All right. So that's our attack frames. Oh, we're getting near the end here. Gravity down. Hot dog. And then we get into the fun stuff. We get into the powers. Gravity down. And then what's our variable? We use that grav. Okay. Grav. Now that's what I call a big happy family. Yeah, fine work with Helic. And we're missing the big one, the big kid. Because she's in quiet time right now. Oh. The invisibility cloak is broken because Artemis is just standing right underneath the little place where it hooks into. She's just standing there. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's this one that's broken. Oh, but we're very blessed. We're very blessed with our family. Good family, good people, good viewers. It's a good time. We're very well taken care of. Okay, so gravity would... Hey, what are you doing in here again? I've kicked you out so many times because you don't like me anymore. Huh. Bark at me to get me to let you out, and then you don't move when I say let's go out. Corgis, man. My advice, don't get corgis. Projectile shield. There we go. All right. Max health up. And you know what? We've already validated that one works. I already know that one works. We don't need to double check it. Bomb enemies. Here we go. All right. Bomb enemies, the variable. So yeah, what are ways that we can make the game jam approachable and then deliver an insane amount of value on it? And like my mind goes to like individual critique sessions. Like you don't just get to submit and get comments and feedback. You get a full on like 10 to 15 minute critique session with myself and any of the judges, where we talk about, you know, what works about this idea and what maybe could be improved on it. If you were to continue the project, what would be good? That's where my mind goes. I would find that very valuable. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would just not love that because that would force the human interaction, right? And I feel like that might scare people off. Like I love, Shepard Sand, what you said about the mentorship. Like having check-ins over the course of the game jam with a mentor to like talk about what they're trying to accomplish, I think would be super rad. I think that would be awesome. But like, it's kind of a lot to ask of people and it really doesn't scale very well. But to be fair, that's a big success metric for me is the time that I'm spending scaling well. And if it's scaling well, I'm probably not doing the right thing. 0 and 1. Good. Flag is triggering. You know, I don't want my time to scale well to a certain degree, because if it's not scaling well, that means I'm spending it with people. And you can't scale time spent with individuals and building relationships. I don't know. We did playtesting critique sessions. No, you might need rings. Okay. Like a group of folks, maybe 6 to 10 people per ring. Interesting. Interesting, Shepherd's Hound. I like that idea. Kind of crowdsource it in a way, and then maybe have like one representative of like someone who knows what they're talking about, making sure that they're present in each critique session. I think that's really interesting. Foolbox, I'm not sure I understand the logic of yours, the scaling and all. I want my stuff to scale well. I want stuff to scale well. I don't want my time to scale well, which is to say, there's no way to scale one-on-one relationships. And so if I'm doing a lot of that, then that's a good thing. And that's my indicator of go in that direction. Keep on building one-on-one relationships. As soon as we start removing the humanity from everything, that's when I start getting nervous. If you do have multiple judges, then they take a ring. Yeah. I've asked my husband, Cabinet Otter, I've asked my husband to make our quality time more efficient by preparing an agenda for date nights. All about scalability. Well, okay, so that's an interesting approach. And I think there's something to be said for making it more clear and, reducing that hemming and hawing of, oh, what do we do here? Like, having an agenda is important because then you're actually maximizing on the time that you're spending. But you're not planning date night for like 30 people, right? That's why all those date planners and stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of, because a date is so individual between the people that are involved on it. And getting a template is like, okay, maybe it can help you ideate. It's kind of like ChatGPT. Like, this is good for brainstorming, but you really want to take it and modify it before you do anything. A reasonable cap. It was the N+2 judge feedback ratio I wrote in Discord. Yeah. I'm kidding. Obviously, just mean I get what you're saying. You can't really scale quality time. Yeah. So that's kind of my constant struggle that I have. How do we get the single mom with 3 kids in New York in an apartment that can't afford to do anything? How do we get her to a position where she feels this is valuable? And not just feels that it's valuable, but it actually is valuable. Because those are different. People can feel something is great and it not actually provide value. And it can be the other way around too. Something can be insanely valuable and people just don't really feel it. Happens in design all the time. That's why designers are getting laid off left and right now. Also, a judge's cap is reasonably 400 to 600 games in a month, with a relatively full-time expectation. Otherwise, part-time is between 80 to 200 games for giving feedback. Yeah, I think that's probably reasonable. And we're certainly not going to be anywhere near there, right? If we did a game jam today, I bet we'd probably have 3 to 4 teams, if I don't count myself. 3 to 4 people saying, yes, I want to participate in that. We're just not at that point yet. Which is great. That means we can actually focus on how do we deliver value to people instead of how do we use this as a marketing approach to make the stream crazy successful, right? And that's where I want to live. I want to live in that space. Video game, let's go. Tom Sutton, welcome in, friend. We are talking game jams. We talked about the Pirate Software game jam for a while. We had an airing of grievances and a cathartic discussion point with everyone on that. We're talking about, a lot of people have said that they want to do a game jam here with foxhollowgames as a part of this community. So we're talking about how do we make this not only approachable for individuals, but how do we make it valuable, truly, truly valuable, to the point where it's a no-brainer, where spending your valuable, precious time it's an obvious thing to do this. So that's what we're discussing right now. Welcome in. I'm happy to see you here. Shield Boone. GameMaker 2D Fighter. How's it going? It's going fraptiously. Thank you. How are you, sir, over on YouTube? How are the little ones? Are you back home yet? I don't do game jams. I'm busy, says Tom. Exactly, right? And that's the thing. Everyone's busy. Like, doing a game jam? Kind of a stupid thing, frankly. Very dumb thing to do. It's one of those things that doesn't scale well, right? For the participant. There's no way to really fit it in easily. So How do we do it in a way that busy people can still participate if they want to, without it becoming this huge time sink that puts stressors on their lives and provides enough value that they want to do it? Some might even say foolish. From the Fool Box himself. Absolutely. Some might. So, and it could be a game jam is only part of the sort of community outreach that we do. It could be that we have game jams, but then we also have other things to provide value to people that don't have the time to participate in a game jam, right? Like, object spawner, bummer. So it's going to be global, I think, right? Global dot platform bounce chance. I hope I got that in there. I've considered doing like weekly critique nights. I know Vimlark does stuff like that, and that's pretty well attended. But then I think, okay, so like, how do we have this provide enough value that like people just don't decide to go to Vimlark instead? Who's a much bigger streamer? How do we, like, the critique quality has to be incredibly good, and there has to be something additional about it that sets it apart in some way. Oh yeah, that is just, ads. All right, welcome back. Shepherd's Hound. Yeah, that is in my opinion, the tip-top cap of what is reasonable of giving feedback. Yeah, because exactly, every game adds a lot more time. You can't wring more out of someone than that, yeah. 2D Fighters at YouTube, checking out The Hospital now. Have you playing in my headphones? Oh, man. You are just a dedicated father and a dedicated creative. You're an inspiration to me. I hope you're able to balance it all well. And best of luck. K-Hadao. Bruh, I just spent 30 minutes trying to figure out why my animation wasn't playing just to find out I forgot to add it to my state machine. Oh man, isn't that the way it goes? Fine work with Hillock. Pumpkin Jam. Interesting, I've never heard of Pumpkin Jam. But I guess you can kind of jam anything as long as you add enough sugar and pectin to it, right? Alright, I'm disappointed no one voted for Toe Jam. Every time I think I'm going to be able to get away and use both of my hands, that fantasy goes straight out the window. What, you need to go out too? You couldn't have done that during the ad break? You got to do it right now, bud? Alright, there you go. Alright. We're all getting sorted. We're all okay. It's awesome if you put it over cheese. Interesting. Game dev, I'll be fine streaming. I don't know how that will be the challenge. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I only got one kid. I can have one hand free to at least, pseudo type. You got the two. you gotta start doing the chicken peck with your nose, you know? Oh, goodness. Bouncy platforms, right. That's what we're working on. Okay. In player, line 105. Darn, it's not being made. All right, where's our world script? Actually, in our spawner. Because we have bouncy chance, right? Yes, right here. Get rid of that. And then go to SC World. Bounce rate. There we go. Global dot. Goodness, it's 2. Oh, jeez. It is 15 after already. Oh, all right. Well, after this next ad break, we're going to jump into our critique game for the day. It's going to be a new game. We're not doing Shogun Showdown. We did a little sneak stream of that earlier today in vertical format. We're going to do something different today. Now, I'm going to look all the time, and I wrote one line of code while holding both just to see if I can. Oh, the whole time. Oh, my gosh. That came out wrong. That came out very wrong. I'm glad I didn't read it. Oh, shoot. Okay. Right, we need to go into the spawner and change all of our references for bounce chance. If global dot. There we go. Let's try that. Good, 0 and 5. That's what we were hoping for. So back to the player. Let's go to the next power. Speed rings. By the way, 2D fighters, I don't know if you ever saw this, but I implemented the Donkey Kong barrel, Donkey Kong Country barrel, as a power. So thank you, and oh dear. All right, speed rings is going to be global dot speed rings chance. Global dot speed rings chance. There we go. Select. Copy. So yeah, if you guys have thoughts on what you'd like to see in a game jam, let me know. Because it's actively being considered and designed, and I'm working it all out as we speak. And if you're interested in participating in something, depending on, the format, of course, let me know as well, because I don't want to run it if only a few people are going to be doing it. A few people being like myself and maybe one other person. I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe I shouldn't let that stop the event from happening, but it just feels a little weird to me. All right. Global.speedrings chance doesn't exist? Really? But you understood, so I don't have to rewrite it. I have a baby in my hands. That's the excuse. My code suffers as well. Show me the barrels. Well, here's the barrel. So it's not a barrel, but I'm calling it a barrel. But the dog kind of jumps in here, phases into it, and then we get the arrow rotating around it, and then you jump. You do your big blast. You need to start somewhere, my dude. You're right. You are right. It just, I don't know. I guess it feels not very valuable to the other participants if there's only like 1 or 2 people. I'm in the dad's game jam. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it feels less valuable, but maybe that's not like true. Maybe it wouldn't be less valuable. Oh, it's a typo. I put ring instead of rings. All right. I like ring better. Singular makes more contextual sense. Speed ring chance. There we go. And then this one. And I'm pretty sure the spawner is going to need to be updated too. Tell that to Tobu Jam. All the participants seem to be having a blast. Well, how many participants do they have? How many people do they have working with them? How many people do they have participating? Also, Cabinet Otter, I'm so sorry. I totally missed it. It was like during the ad break or something. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good time. Welcome home. And if you're working on anything, feel free to let us know. We're all about celebrating each other's successes and progress here. If it's your first time doing it, smaller may be better, and part of the emotional value would be getting in early, part of the first class. I mean, that's a very good point. It's a very good point, Cabinet Otter. It's a very good point. 35 participants, but there was like 10 people before the jam started. I mean, 10 is great. 10's awesome. I'd be more than happy with 10. That would be thrilling. Yeah, that would be frabjous. Where's our ring chance here? What? Oh. We're not including it anywhere. Okay, let's fix that. We need our chance spawner. There we go. We're gonna want to put the barrel in that too. Goodness. Just tell people it's a doctor jam, and that's it. There you go. You can get 10. I mean, maybe. Dinner has been had. Welcome back. Sorcery Story. Welcome back. I hope it was delicious. You can get more. I don't know. And it's not necessarily, once again, I just want to really establish this clearly. It's not about me getting more. It's about value to the participants, right? So that's my main concern. And I think I do have that bias that more people means more value. But, you know, we're looking at the Pirate Software Game Jam, and, like, maybe that's not necessarily the case. Maybe there's a bit of a critical mass there. Something I always considered was individually or micro value. Like if 5 people do it and they each get a ton of feedback and support, is that more successful than one that has 50 people with less or 500 people with none? Yeah, it's a great point. It's a very, very good point. It's like an individual choice for you to make, but it's something to think about. And I mean, I do like that. I really like that. And that even kind of advocates more than for that concept of breaking it out into very frequent but very specific jams. And then you do get a small amount of people doing it just out of necessity. There's only going to be a small section of people that are going to be able to. And then you get to spend more time with them. We can put that on stream and have everyone be talking about their journey together and stuff. Bro, you are soaked. What is happening in here? I like video games, but I'm currently learning data engineering instead. So different path, but just find it helpful to be around people in a learning mindset about coding generally. That's great, Otter. That's awesome. I love that. Toolbox. More people is only more value if the community is solidaire, like if they have solidarity and help each other. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'd be down for that. K Hadao, what are you referring to? GameMaker 2D Fighter, I'll join your jam. Wow, goodness. You guys are great. This is rings, right? Speed ring chance. There we go. Speed ring chance. All right, let's try that. Sorry, my French came out. I was wondering. Yeah. I almost said it in a French accent. I was this close and then decided this is probably not a good idea to enrage multiple countries at the same time. Cabinet Otter. Having less people means they have more time to discuss in depth and less intimidating for people to speak up. I think that's a good point, and it makes those critique circles a lot more viable. My philosophy was always I would prefer investing heavily in a smaller group because, like, if even one person moves forward, that's a huge success. And I can be happy with small, but more impactful work. But that is generally my approach to all things. Feel overwhelmed by the world, do one tiny but impactful thing. I love that, Shepherd Sound. I adore that. It aligns with my philosophy. I think it's very wise. Thank you for the reminder. And I think you're dead right. Yeah, thank you all for your thoughts and your input. It's helpful to have this kind of virtual whiteboarding where we can talk with each other and discuss things, and you can help me consider things from a more well-rounded perspective. I deeply value that. Thank you. When you've been in my stream, I butcher English all the time, but so do English people. You know, if you can spell fish, G-O-E-T-I, then I think it's just kind of free game. All right, where's our global.barrel chance? There it is. Good. Okay, good. And I think it's actually going to be set correctly in the spawner, right? Where's our barrel chance? Global.barrel. Ah, not spawn chance, just global chance. And that's something I'll need to align on naming conventions appropriately. There's a lot to refine in this code. We all do? Yeah, exactly, sorcery. English is a butchered language. You're using it right. Yeah, it's like 2 steps beyond a pigeon language. I mean, it's really a mishy-mashy wash. Okay, 0 and 5. Good. Barrel chance is working. Hey! Guess what, friends? That's all of the boons. So everything is at least triggering correctly. We know that much. And we can go in and verify that, like, the actual effect is taking place on the powers another time. Because now we need to brainstorm the different deities and plug all of these boons into them. Okay, you know what? That's a good breaking point. My child is literally dripping. Kids aren't supposed to drip. Something must be off with the diaper. I'm going to run an ad break real quick so we get the next little bit free. And actually, that's perfect timing given the time constraints that we have. Going to run an ad break, and then we'll come back and we'll play our next game that we're going to critique together. We got everything debugged today. We can start working on plugging in the gods. I'll try and do that off stream so that tomorrow, before our wonderful chat with Shepherd's Hound, by the way, reminder to everyone, we're having an awesome talk with Shepherd's Hound tomorrow. She brings a tremendous amount of experience, which they've been discussing in the stream today. So you're not going to want to miss it. We're going to talk all about their experience with game festivals and with critiquing and securing government funding for different groups. A wealth of experience. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be doing that at 4:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Before we do that, we're going to be working on getting the enemy fully polished and refined. And then by the end of the week, we should then have a loop. And then we can just set in a timer for like getting to the end and winning the game. And then like the full version of the game is ready. It's playable. It's done. And then we'll have to build in our difficulty scaler according to our breaks and have all the cool stuff of God-specific enemies showing up and all that polished. But that can come later. We're staying on track with the deadlines we have set, and I'm very, very excited about that. So with that, let's start an ad break. We will be back. I just need to make sure my child is no longer dripping. See you in a second. Okay, welcome back. We're here. The child was dripping. It was not a good dripping. It was a bad dripping. We resolved it. It's good. We're all good. Maybe you'll be able to sleep. Seem a lot more tranquil now. All right. Woo! I don't know if other places have it, but around me they sell frog jam. Fig, raspberry, orange, and grape. That sounds delightful, Mothman Centaur. Oh, boy howdy. What a day this has been. We're gonna play a rad game. We're gonna pause this. All right, there goes the music. Let's jump into a new game. We'll do a new analysis game here. And this is one that is a little more popular. Some of you may have played through this one. If I can find it in my list. There we go. We're going to play... Actually, no, because I don't have that one installed. We're going to do a different one. We're going to pivot. We're going to play a different game that you probably have not played. But is an interesting take on the Slay the Spire type sort of genre. Oh dear. They don't have... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, they don't have video settings. That's not good, but they do. I just missed it. Let's see here. Let's grab our game. You're getting a sneak preview of it right now. This is Reign of the Renegade. All right, we good? There we go. Nice. This is a very cute little game. Drag it out a little. See if we can get this aspect ratio a little bit better. All right. Too much going on for Jam. There is a defined limit for how much we're able to do with Jam at one given moment. And this has crossed the line, Froggy. All right, there we go. Nice. Although it is flashing. Is that flashing for anyone else? Yeah, is that flashing for other people? I'm seeing it flashing in OBS. It doesn't flash in the game, but in OBS it's definitely flashing. Let me know if that's happening. Bottom half is flashing for you. How bizarre. Because even in the display capture, it's not flashing. Yeah, that's not helping. What about limiting the frame rate? No? Boy, that is really not wanting to do that. Let's see if it breaks if we're in the game. So you get your characters. We're going to go ahead and go with the rogue. And then you get subclasses. We're going to go with the ninja. And let's see if it's flashing in the game. If it's flashing in the game, we may have to do something else. Boy, yeah. What is all that flashing? Aw, dude. Come here, little guy. Yeah, you just need your dad. Okay, well, never mind. We're not going to play Reign of the Renegade until I can figure out what's causing that flashing. Let's jump to something else. Wow, that's really weird. Let me jump to another indie that is also very, very good. It's not even the bottom half of the game itself. The flashing stops around your neck, more or less. That's weird. Also, it fits my definition of flashing. Whenever I have flashed, it's usually just neck and up, you know. Let's go to Bone Razor Minions. I haven't played that in a long time. It's a really interesting thing. I played this quite a lot for a while. Drag that over. Bone Razor Minions is from a studio that has produced a lot of little roguelikes and a lot of interesting stuff. And it's definitely worth studying. Oh, hey, guy. What, are we... Got gas? We working through all that? Still happening, I can tell, even with a black screen. Is it? It's still happening, isn't it? Well, oh, there's another webcam source. That might have been the problem. Still happening, so it's an OBS issue, not on the game issue. Cool. All right. Right on. I think I just fixed it. I think there was an extra webcam source for some reason. But that's okay. Bone Razor Minions is pretty great as well. So once again, let's look at the main menu composition here, right? We've got a very simple splash page. No logo, right? Confirming you're good now. Good. All right, thank you. No logo on this. No title cards. If I step aside, you see that confirm and back there. That's it. And then you got the version number in the bottom corner. And you've got this lovely artwork. Draws you in, definitely sets ambiance. And you've got, once again, those very subtle animations. Those stars that are flashing. The big ones increase in intensity and size. I think it increases in size. I don't know if it's increasing in size or just like the saturation is going up. And then the little stars, I don't think they're flashing at all. Right? Yeah, those seem to be pretty stable. Nothing happening with the moon, nothing happening with the church. The only movement are those stars. But let's also take our Kurosawa lessons, right? Middle ground, background, foreground. Unfortunately, this game eats my mouse cursor, so I can't point with the mouse cursor. But you see, I can use my hand. This guy right here. Foreground. Foreground is happening way over there with another tombstone. Way off. Oh, little guy. And then we have all of those graves and the chapel and the trees providing a really good middle ground. And then we got the background of the stars and the moon. And it's interesting because all of our attention is being drawn to the background instead of the middle ground, which is a very interesting compositional choice. But I think it totally works. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the game. So this is what we've got here. This is with a lot of meta progression unlocked. We're going to go with a specific character class here, which is just the starting one. You can see all these different classes. Oh, there's new classes. Very cool. We're going to do the base starting class. And I've unlocked hats and stuff and, you know, all the base management sort of stuff. We'll deal with that in a sec. So as soon as you jump in, they do something that I really like, which is they give you an anchor. This is something that I feel roguelikes need, and it's very rare that it's in them. This is the whale in Slay the Spire, right? That gives you something to orient the start of your run around. Because I always hate it in a roguelike when I'm presented options and they're all equally viable. I haven't been given anything to make an interesting choice around. So this pops up a store that you can buy relics from, which is great. I like it. I'm gonna... Oh, dude. Okay. Let's go with this meld rot. So, when enemies get near us, they will take damage. And here's another anchoring point. We have minions we can pick to start off with. So I'm going to get this creepy tangler. And now... Oh, little guy. What's going on? So now it's a Binding of Isaac style type sort of roguelike, right? Where you are in the room, you walk around the room, and then you automatically shoot at stuff. But instead of you automatically shooting at stuff, your minions shoot at stuff. Okay, once you get to a certain level, you get to get more minions. You're a necromancer, hooray! More dead corpses walking around. And they do some interesting stuff here I want to talk about. First off, look at the little dudes dancing up at the top. Very cute. Just a simple little animation to make it feel like a celebration, which is kind of hard to do when you're talking about being a necromancer, right? They could have gone Iridus Lord of the Dead style and been very dour, and we're gonna satirize through the dourness. Instead, they go full silly and say, look, the necromancer's jumping up and down and partying. Hooray! And I think that's very funny, and I think it resonates with the brand of games that they've kind of established for themselves. And then we have our choices here. All these different skeletons and undead we can raise. And you can see we have the type of skeleton in the lower left. Magic, range, magic, melee, skellies, right? These are all skellies. So the player can discern, what exactly am I getting? It has the text written down below to tell you about what this does. More damaging boomerang also homes in on meanies being the bad guys, rather the good guys. 2D fighter, our babies cry at the exact same time and way. Oh my goodness, bless your heart. So they give you some text, which I think a lot of other games are very afraid of doing. And I understand why. You want to make it easily translatable, you want to make it more universal, but you kind of need some sort of description, right? You need to know what on earth you're actually getting into. Another interesting thing that I think they do is the color of the skeletons. Look at these. These are not just different colors because they are different colors. They're different colors to indicate tier. So the green is like your basic beginning level. And then these ones are upgrading your current minions into higher levels. So you get a really visual indicator of things getting stronger, and you can read it very quickly. Programmer Jeff, hello. How's my favorite OpenGL enthusiast doing today? Hello. Is that a cute, adorable baby? It is definitely at least two of those things. Yeah, that's my little guy. He's a little over a week old at this point. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade our Warlock that we started with. We're going to upgrade him to level 2 so we get more damaging projectiles that can pierce. That sounds rad. Oh. Thanks for your patience, everyone. He's been having a rough couple of days in the diaper department, and it sounds like he's working through it. So, sounds like we're on the other end of the path. Unfortunately, it's with you all. You're all a part of this journey now. Congratulations and welcome. This is parenthood. All right, fine. Here, let's adorn the frock. Oh, there we go. All right. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you. All right. So, you can see some interesting stuff graphically here. I can walk around, right? I've got my player. There's a cosmetic hat that gets thrown on. You can ignore that. That's what the bubble thing is. Ooh, okay. This is an interesting part. Let me get out of the way here. So, okay. Look right above my fez. This is going to combine this guy and this guy into that guy. And now it's a different type of monster. It's a giant. Because we fused two corpses together. Very thematic, very interesting. You need one of those baby backpacks. I've actually got a carrier just right by me, but he's too small for it. So he needs to pack on some weight before we can use it reliably. So this giant is going to do a lot of really cool stuff. It's very strong. See all those particle effects coming out now, right? Very, very satisfying upgrade. And it needs to be because you're sacrificing a lot to get it. But it feels great. And it's the very start of the indicator of kind of how this game is built. This is not a game just about leveling up one guy. This is a game about combining, right? We actually have a new thing. They've updated the game a little bit since I played last, a few years ago. But a lot of this game is figuring out what kind of minion do I want to build into? And then how do I effectively get the components and structure them and build them in and level them up to get something really cool and special? So we're going to go for this new one because I have no idea what it is. Borrowing Band. Also, good sound effects, right? That was a good stinger. And then the little confetti coming down, very nice. New necromancy discovered. Also good calling it necromancy. They could have called it ability. They could have called it minion or something. I think necromancy is very thematic and interesting. Raise 3 miserable barrow boner minions to thy legion. With enough excitement, maybe they'll rise. Okay, yeah, this game also has a certain sense of humor as well. Great. Now we also get a relic. I guess we beat a boss. I don't know. And that's something to note. A lot of this progress is happening so fast that I kind of lose track of what is happening. Boost the power of any spell scrolls. Those are your potions. They're your consumables, right? Spare eyeballs boost the sight range of minions by 20%. I like that. Magical lightning strikes bad guys every 4 seconds. I like that. Any meanies that have that die have an 11% chance of releasing a sticky mess of soggy bottoms. I think we have to go with this one, which slows down nearby other meanies. Are you a meanie? You've definitely had a soggy bottom a lot today. Like, for sure. All right. You seem out of it. Are you going to let me put you down? Now that you've kind of worked through some stuff? Okay. All right. I think I'm free. We did it. We did it, Reddit. Let's go tummy bugs. So I can walk around. These bones are our experience gems and vampire survivors, right? Oh, and you know what? Let me change the settings because I changed the visibility of things. Of making the minions are less opaque. I did that because it gets kind of wild later on in the game. And that was a very good setting. It shows that they understood a lot of how people were interacting with this. Ooh, do we want another giant? Let's get another giant, because those 2 giants might fuse together. And then we get this text showing up, right? That's your signifier that events are starting to happen. It's very good. I like it. I think it's a lot better than, like a red haze coming in or a timer, and you just have to kind of like memorize the timer. It's not a perfect implementation, but I think it does a good job. And then we have you have to stay on top of the treasure chest to unlock it and get the money and stuff from it. We get damage numbers coming up. I have taken a lot of damage. I need to start getting better. So let's upgrade our warlock. Again, we have a level 3 warlock, and we have a giant mage. If you listen for it, there's a very good sound effect that plays when you take damage as well. That it's very high-pitched, and it contrasts very nicely against the rest of the sound effects in the game. A lot of the sound effects are kind of in the more mid to low range, but the damage sound effect is a very high-frequency pitch. It contrasts very nicely and stands out, so you know when you're taking damage. That had to be done intentionally. They had to design the soundscape around this so they would avoid putting sounds in that frequency range that would be confusing. All right. Stinky Peasantry, arouse a champion. So we've got a boss coming in. Ooh, let's grab the health on the ground. Oh, they're sending we're past the rabble. They're sending actual soldiers now. Now, looking at the UI, it's pretty simplistic, right? We've got the typography, which is all the same weight on the screen, which is good. You want to go with fewer typography styles over bigger typography styles. Or not bigger, excuse me, more varied. You want less variance in your typography. If you can limit yourself to 3 different typographic styles, and weights especially, then you're going to be, in general, you're going to have a much stronger visual design and stronger visual hierarchy. All right, let's get this guy. So this is like ascending our mage we've been leveling up into a new type. It's a Meldus. It must surely be meld in time. We got a Mad Magus. Cool. So that big blue orb that's coming around behind my head, that's the ability of our new guy. So it's very satisfying, right? You're not really sad about getting cool stuff. Unknown spell. Summons Wormus. Vegetabilized snapping snake worms. Okay. And it's really important that they did it that way, because a lot of the times you're going to be taking normal minions. You're going to be offered stuff that isn't necessarily tremendously exciting. But it becomes exciting because they're components now to get you to where you want to go. So they spent a lot of time in this space of like, how do we make that upgrade path interesting and rewarding? And it's a really good thing to study if you are considering doing something similar for your games, of making all of the choices feel exciting. Let's reduce damage by 10%. That sounds good. We have been taking some damage. And we got a demon undead, which is our red dude. And the vines that it's sending out are all over the place, and it's casting down those fire bolts. Once again, really satisfying upgrade. Let's get a giant miner. And he is every now and again, golly, like I said, so much progression. Chakra Talisman. Emit a shockwave if touched every 33 seconds. Very cool. That's something that I can take for the dog game, is instead of doing a passive bomb every X seconds, do when you get hit, wipe the screen. That's another power we could go for. I sense a stranger draws near. So this is a guy that shows up. He's kind of like the events system in the game. Let's do climate. I don't know. A curse of climate pervades. Rain showers shall pour. So that reduces my visibility. Oh, and it's blasting me with lightning. Ouchie. So I guess I need to keep moving and outrun the lightning, which is going to make opening treasure chests a little hard. New hat unlocked. Cruel Custodian. Cool. All right, where do we want to go next? Yeah, let's get another giant. I kind of like going for giants in this run. Ooh, did you hear that? That was the... Here, I'll take some damage. You can hear it again. Hear that? Also, they did automatic pitch modulating. Very good. So that pitch modulating prevents it from sounding too repetitive too quickly. All right, we've got new types of enemies. Sniff, sniff, chesty. Okay. Open up that chest. Get a new relic. Yeah, let's get more bad guys coming in, because that means more money and more experience. More experience means faster levels and cooler minions. Nice. Sodden peasantry armor themselves. And so you can see how, like, they probably had, even if unofficially, some sort of guidelines about voice, right? Like, how do we write for this game? Because it's all very consistent in tone and feel. And that's the sort of thing you have to do when you're dealing with a team. And when you're dealing with a lot of writing, you have to define what is the voice, what is the brand. What are words that we use, and what are words that we don't use? All hurt thou shalt suffer shall be reduced by 20%. Very cool. I like 20% less damage. That's great. Okay, so now here's an example. We have all basic level minions. But I'm really excited about it because that means, ooh, maybe I can go for bros now, and that will change the pathway we can take. It's interesting, and it gets me interested in possibilities instead of the direct upgrade. And I think there's a lot of power in that, of enticing someone by what could be instead of forcing them to look at what is currently. It reminds me of that game we played on the Game Jam about the fungus kind of crawling through the tunnel. And it was the same level every single time, but every time you beat it, there was a little more fungus crawling through, and it changed the level a little bit. And that repetition with variation was very powerful. And this is kind of like the flip side of it, where you're looking forward to what's coming, not necessarily what you're going through. All right. What's that spell? Let's cast a spell. Iggy Bro. I think that, like, hatches over time. Yeah. And we get a new relic. Tome of Antiquities. Thou shalt be offered one extra item when choosing a relic. Taking the item shall enact a random curse. All right. Geez, so many levels. This is what I'm talking about. It's probably honestly a little too much. Oh, and we have a dash. I forgot about the dash. Okay. That's our vegetable snake spell that we cast. And now you can see the enemies are getting more interesting. They're getting that revolving, rotating ball around them. Sure, let's go with the Boobro. Why not? I don't really know what it does. Sounds kind of cool, though. Oh, it's doing projectiles. Good. A high wizard approaches. Is this a boss? There it is. There's our first real boss. Ooh, he hits like a truck. All right, go get him. Go get him. All right, we're chewing through him. This is pretty good. He's already almost dead. The health bar for the boss, I feel, is kind of a little bit of a design miss. It's pretty far away from the action. It's very hard to like keep an eye on the action and then go look at the health bar. I think that could be better placed. Whether it's over the character themselves. Like a lot of times with these bullet hell / bullet heaven games, you see a lot of the necessary information displaying right over the character itself. And that is because that's where you're looking when you're playing these games. You're not looking at the enemies. You're looking at where you are and avoiding things. And I think that could have been a spot for improvement for them. Oh, this is that game. Yes, this is that game. Bone Razor Minions. Jack. Also, Jack, what are you doing awake? Aren't you supposed to be asleep right now? Also, glad you're here. Let's get some treasure chests. Bandits arrive. A new spell. Bestowing a soul to it shall spawn meanie spirits. Okay. Let's go for more bros. And why is this one purple? I don't know why that's purple. Oh, that's the corrupted relic. Okay, so that's the one if I pick, it will give me a curse. Let's go with the one I don't know about. Evening, Absconditis. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. We are doing analysis of various indie games for the rest of the stream today. We're going to be getting in just a little bit, but for now, we're looking at Bone Razor Minions and kind of seeing what works about it, what doesn't work. What can we learn in terms of things to replicate and things to leave behind? Getting exam results tomorrow, so I won't get any sleep even if I wanted to. Oh, goodness. Is that a necromancer game? Yes, it is. You are a necromancer, fending off the rabble of peasantry. Compact meat that pushes meanies and destroys their projectiles. So do I just have like an extra? Oh, I do. Oh, it's an orbital. Okay. Very Tiny Rogues feeling with that. All relics that are currently offered to these shall be given, but you reduce your max health by 33. So I get all of these relics, but minus 33 max health? I've wanted to play a Necromancer game my entire life. Well, this is the game for you, my friend. Necromancer game shall be the next game I make. Very cool. I'm torn between using GMS 2 or Unreal 5 for creating a recreation of Solar Jetman plus Blaster Master. What do you think? Solar Jet... Whoa, hold on. Was that Solar Jetman? Oh, wow. Okay. Solar Jetman and then Blaster Master. And I just go back to Math Blaster, which is probably not going to be as deep of a cut as this. Blaster Master. Hold on. I misspelled that. There we go. Okay, so like a shmup type sort of thing, but like you're moving your ship up and down. So, oh, okay. There's Blaster. Now I'm recognizing it. Got it. So here's my recommendation. First off, Absconditis, both NES titles with modern 2.5D graphics. Okay. Is this your first game you've made? That's the key question. How experienced are you? Fuse 5 regular skeletons into a random level 3. Sure, that sounds good. Because depending on your experience level, this answer changes a lot. The fact that you're asking me tells me this may be your very first game that you're making. So what I have learned in GameMaker, I have not used Unity or Unreal, but what I have learned in GameMaker is that physics are really hard to code. You have to hand build it, and you have to hand build your controllers. So it's kind of a pain to make sure that everything is being executed on. That's what I'm building. I started building a game where you jump, and that's the only thing you can do is jump. But that jump took way longer to build than I was expecting it to build. So I would recommend, if there's any sort of physics involved, of any sort of complexity, you may want to look at Unity or Unreal. Now, the problem with that is if you're doing 2D graphics, you don't really need Unreal. Unreal is really good for like those AAA high fidelity renders and stuff. You don't need that if you're doing 2D. It would be a first creation in terms of making a game, using those two as concepts. However, I'm a hands-on with level dev and asset dev for Quake, Unreal, the older titles from the 90s, but that's been years ago. Okay. So technology has probably shifted a little bit since the days of Quake. By the way, Barricade is a great game in the Quake style, being developed by Sockhouse Studios. Shout out to Sockhouse Studios. Building something like that. Sockhouse Studios. Is there an underscore in that name? Jeez. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. Good. I got it right. Why no Unity? That's a good question, Risky. Yeah, why is Unity not on the table? And I would understand if it's because of business practices, because for that reason, I don't really want to go deal with Unity. I'm also hands-on with Unity for VR chat dev and models. However, I can't get behind the recent policy changes. Yeah, no, I definitely get that. So, I mean, people in chat, feel free to chime in here, because we've got a lot of people that are game developers in here with a wide variety of experience. My experience with GameMaker is it is really, really good for making games like this. Like, this game is a fantastic game to make in GameMaker. Really, really good. If you need to do a lot of physics, I would not recommend GameMaker. If you need a lot of, like, really precise controls, I would not recommend GameMaker for your first game. Because Unity and Unreal have controllers. You can just plug in, and they will work. And they will do the job for most use cases. Eventually, you're going to need to, try something else. Maybe build your own stuff. But that will be eventually. And you'll be able to get progress on the thing and get momentum before jumping in. Too deep into, spending 2 weeks coding a jump like I had to do. Godot is also good for 2D stuff. Yes, absolutely. Jack, Godot has been great for me so far, mostly for 2D stuff, though I haven't tried any 3D things. Yeah. And if you want any 3D models or anything, GameMaker's out, right? You can't do 3D models in GameMaker. I mean, okay, technically you can, but it's like, you shouldn't. It's not built for it. There's nothing natively that supports it. You have to, like, be a code wizard to make it work. Don't do it. 2D Fighters over on YouTube says, I use both Unreal Engine 4 and 5 and GameMaker, and I'm trying to make big moves in GameMaker versus Unreal. Plus, I love GameMaker on a personal bias. It does a lot of things really well. It does a lot of things simply, and it's very open. It's a lot more open than people think. I think a lot of people think GameMaker is very akin to RPG Maker, but it's not. It's really just a much more open engine than people expect. Unity is all I've ever used, so I don't know. We're married now, I guess. Just code your own 3D engine in GameMaker. What do you mean you don't have the time? Yeah, Absconditis, I don't know. Is any of this ringing true for you? Is any of this making sense? Do you have any other, like, follow-up questions or thoughts? Is this answering your question? Unfortunately, I can't really say this is better or not, but these are circumstances to consider when you're jumping into the game. And then as well, like, it would probably be worth doing some really quick proof of concepts in any engine you're interested in. Spend just a little bit trying to figure out, do I like building in this thing? And don't get intense. Don't try and refine the code. Don't do anything very nicely. Just try and get the basic idea going. And then, when you kind of have experimented a little bit, you'll be able to tell which of these things seem more promising. Which of these engines is actually going to get me closer to my desired outcome that I'm trying to get? And that's the real answer. None of us are going to be able to tell you yay or nay on either one of them. It's going to come from you. Unreal seems great for 3D stuff. I love watching the new videos about the stuff they're developing with like nanites and terrain and ray tracing. Not sure how much that makes it better of the other 3D stuff I haven't used it. And it probably got some super finicky code with it. Very well could be. 2D Fighter, stay where you feel good. You technically can make everything and everything nowadays. More or less true. 2D Fighter. Like I said, like if you're doing 3D models, don't go to GameMaker, right? It's not where you want to be. Demonic Miner? Summon a horde of barrel miners. Cool. And then this is boost the chances and opportunities to bone raise range minions. Very interesting. All right, Absconditis. So in terms of physics, the base of the game would be Solar Jetman. Obviously, the ship can move vertical and horizontal, fire in 8 directions. And there would be a gravity effect, forcing the player to overcome this with thrust. Yeah, I mean, that's not the hardest thing to build in GameMaker, but it is more complicated than it would be in, like, Unity. But I do not know what this intel is on the physics side, because there are plenty of guides for side-scrolling RPG-style games, but little to nothing pertaining to top-down space style. I look at their Asteroids template and demo project, and it gives me some ideas. Yeah, so the top-down is really easy. Anytime you just need to move a character around different axes, it's really easy to do that in GameMaker. You have to hand build it, which is annoying, but it's like, it's easy. As soon as you start getting like more intense physics calculations, that's when I start getting a little nervous. Like if you're trying to build Dome Keeper, you know, where you like if you're trying to overcome gravity with thrust, but like you're also connected to something and you're trying to like lift that, that's when I would start to get really nervous about GameMaker. I know GameMaker does have built-in physics options. I've never played around with them because every time you turn it on, it says, "Warning! If you're doing anything complex, don't use this. Please, for the love of all that's good, don't click this button." So, I've never clicked it. I don't know. It's something to explore, though. You could try tooling around with that. Just put, like, a box in a room with another box, and then see if you can move, and if that does what you need. UF2D is an amazing Unreal 2D versus template project that has my full support. It says 2D Fighters, okay. Risky Biscuit Games. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time had some cool planet gravity mechanics. Yes, absolutely. And people do gravity. We just critiqued a game from one of our viewers the other day. Jack, it was your game. That had really cool gravity with, like, you moved between these different gravity-generating bodies and they would kind of influence your trajectory and stuff. That sort of thing seems like it would be really hard to build in GameMaker. Not impossible by any stretch, just, like, kind of tricky and finicky. I'm not too scared to jump head over a bridge on the coding side because Google and AI exist to help with that. I just am not aware of what is the path to least resistance, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, I hear you. If you want path to least resistance in terms of, like, getting that control down, I'd probably be looking at Godot or Unreal. Granted, I haven't coded in either of those, so, you know, take that with a big grain of salt. All I know is getting good physics down in GameMaker is unreasonably difficult compared to what I have observed in other engines. Godot has some super good 2D collisions and stuff, comes basically built in. That's good. It was unfortunately, Mike. What do you mean, unfortunately, your game? It's impossible even when I don't have to code the collisions. What do you mean, unfortunately? I thought your game was great. I love playing around with that thing. I think it has a lot of interesting concepts in it. It needs to be, like, refined and everything, but that's every game. That's every game that ever existed. And you're never done refining. You just decide you're done. We'll just skip the store or whatever. Whatever. It broke like 5 times and you only played it like 4 times. Well, I mean, there wasn't a lot to it. You know, I'm not going to sit there and play it all day like, you know, it's my main game or anything. Yet. But it's a very early prototype. Don't let that discourage you. It was an early prototype. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got you more learning. That's exactly what those early prototypes are supposed to do. It was tremendously successful in that regard. If it breaks, that's not a big deal. You're not trying to make it refined. You're just trying to make it and get early learnings. That's the big deal. Shorten the time to learning. That's what you want. All right, welcome back. Oh dear. What have I done? OBS, classic. Thank you, OBS. Okay. I would call it a prototype if I was making a prototype for my prototypes. That's what prototypes are, man. The LMS turbo motive. Absconditis. To be honest, I've seen a few videos from someone by the name of Code Cobra built a very neat recreation of Mega Man from NES in a 2.5D style in Unreal. He documented very well his walls to success in terms of getting the physics accurate, okay? I just figured better to ask someone who was already hands-on with GameMaker, as I figured you probably have done something similar, and sadly there isn't nearly as large a viewer base for GameMaker as Unreal 5. You're very right. Hold on. I'll show you what we've built. I'll show you what we've built. Let me bring this up real quick. And we're going to bring this up. And then I'm going to fix OBS. Yeah. Come on, there we go. There we go. I haven't seen the actual thing recently. Show me. Oh, you haven't? Oh, well, here you go. So this is not even a prototype. This is early just putting the skeleton together. And, oh dear. And it's breaking. Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Where's our spawner? I got to comment on a lot of code. We've been doing a lot of work without verifying that anything works yet. So let's comment all that, run it. And then fix this. Come on. There we go. Here we go. Ugh. All right, spawner. We're just gonna take all of you and comment you out. You're all done. You're completely done. Come on. Oh, OBS, come on. Play nice. There we go. Okay. Oh, jeez. It's still crashing. Where are you crashing in? In object spawner, but you're not everything. Why are you still crashing? You shouldn't be crashing. You're completely commented out. And this is another thing with GameMaker is like the debugging. It's not great, to be honest. It's unfortunately not great. You know what? I'm going to get rid of Bone Razor minions. That's causing too many problems. Do you consider the prototype to be something you build to then build the actual game off of? Or is it a sample to then restructure the system you were using into something to more easily finish off the actual game? So prototypes can be a lot of things. Once again, this is coming from my decade of product design experience. Prototypes can be all sorts of stuff. So here's the game, by the way. You can take a look at it. You can see we've got a lot of physics going on here, right? We've got double jumps, we've got enemies, we've got dashing through them, we've got ground pounds, we've got all sorts of stuff. It doesn't look great. That art isn't great. It's all very, very rough. Just been trying to get basic concepts working. But prototypes, for me, serve any number of reasons. You can have a technical prototype. I would call that a proof of concept. It's just to say, hey, like, we can feasibly build this thing, even though it's not finished and, like, maybe doesn't work all the way. Like, the hard thing has been figured out. We understand how to do this now. The way I tend to use prototypes is more in the realm of shortening time to learning. So what is the smallest thing we can build that will let us learn what is working and what isn't? So in that sense, it's almost all throwaway. Very little of a prototype for me ever gets really reused in a serious manner. I may, I'll probably be reusing code and building off of it, but it's all viewed as temporary, and the only objective for it is to learn. That's the key thing. Shorten the time to learning. So when we do a prototype, even this is way higher fidelity of a prototype than I would like to make. Right? What I would like to do more, if I was just doing it on my own, would be something like this project I'm pulling up right now. That has a much lower fidelity prototype. Let's bring this up. Right, like this. This is the better version, the better prototype of what you just saw. No real sprites, no nothing. It's just there to say, like, I want to get a double jump working, and I want to get collisions working, right? That's all this was meant to be, and it's great. This is the level of fidelity I'd be prototyping if I wasn't streaming. Because with streaming, people want visuals. They want a reason to stick around. So streaming game dev is a little different from building game dev. If you're actually trying to, like, have people stick around and engage. And you're not already super massive and can do whatever you want. Absconditis, man's a wizard. He just spawns a whole baby with a bottle out of thin air. You know it. You know I'm a wizard. Jackson, maybe somewhere in the future, would you recreate the entire project and not scrap this, but ignore this and only take elements that work and rework what is needed? You really pulled up a finished game of mine. I mean, it all depends, you know? I don't want to scrap anything, but I don't say I have to stick with anything, right? Does that mean you don't wear the hat when you aren't streaming? Sometimes I don't even wear the bow tie. But whether I'm streaming or not, I never wear pants. So like when it comes time to really refine this and turn this into a good game with high polish, I'm probably going to be keeping a lot of this stuff. Just because it works. But I'm not tying myself to any of it. I'm not saying I have to keep anything, because that's sunk cost fallacy. And it's built in such a way, usually, so that throwing it away isn't all that painful, right? There's all sorts of things I need to refactor in here. And so I haven't refactored it yet until I get more of the gameplay done, so I can know, do I actually want to refactor this and polish it or not? That's another way to get to learning. You mentioned GMS2 doesn't really support 3D or 2.5D without some janky workarounds, and I presume UE5 has far superior support in terms of pre-existing things I can just plug into and work from, opposed to having to get dirty hands-on and write it for myself. Yeah, so it depends on your definition of 2.5D. If you're having like depth of field effects with sprites, then that's doable. But if you want 3D objects on a 2D plane, don't use GameMaker. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. GameMaker has sprites. You can see this folder down here. Sprites. That's all that they can do. But they do sprites very well. They have built-in sprite editors that are super cool. Like if I wanted to edit this sprite and I wanted to like animate it, it's really easy in the editor. I don't have to like go somewhere else. I can say play, and then I can like throw these little kind of pseudo particle effects coming off of it, right? And now it animates. Very cool. Gonna undo all that because I don't want to do that, but it's really good for sprites. If you want 3D objects, it's not gonna be your friend. UE5 has a lot of 3D. Oh, and that's the other thing about GameMaker. It doesn't really have a very good asset store. If you want like pre-built assets to pull from, don't go to GameMaker either. GameMaker is where you go if you are comfortable supplying everything that you need to build the game. It's a very open, pretty powerful engine, but it's specific about what it does. If you want a big store that you can pull assets from, go to Unity. Straight up. Okay. What's this clip? Sometimes I don't even wear the bow tie. Well, that's going up on YouTube. Thank you, Risky. UE5 has a lot of 3D and some 2.5D support, but 2D is far more difficult than other engines by far. I believe that, but I didn't know that. That's interesting. Well, see, that's another place I'm kind of torn. Looking at Solar Jetman, that's what 8-bit sprites. Yeah. Whereas Master Blaster is 16-bit. Or does that appear to be 3D in a 2D plane to you? For Master Blaster? Locked in for eternity. I don't think... I think anything on the NES is going to be 2.5D in the same way that GameMaker is 2.5D. Which is like, they're doing a lot of code trickery to make it look that way. But yeah, Blaster Master, that's 100% 2D sprites. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing 3D about that. So, those are the thoughts. I'm excited to hear about what you build. By the way, thank you for the follow. I don't think I called that out 28 minutes ago. Goodness, way to go, good streamer. Oh, because I was in the game probably, and I don't think I have the alerts set up in that scene. My bad. I'll fix that. Thank you for the follow. From what I've seen of the images on Google, they're just 2D. You could make that on GameMaker for sure. Yeah, absolutely. GameMaker 2D Fighter on YouTube says, I'm on the way home. I'm starting on art this weekend, including your project. I don't know what that is. I feel guilty that you're doing anything, but so glad you're on the way home. Get some rest in. I'm happy for you. You, the little ones, and the missus. Get some rest in. Yeah, so those are the thoughts, Absconditis. I'd love to see how things progress and what you learn as you go. Please stay in touch. Let me know how things go. I want to know. Should I get to making some awful stream badges for you? I'd love that. Okay, so there's a billion things we need to do for the stream. We've got emotes that are getting done. We've got Cole Chaos, who's helping out with the first batch of community-free emotes. So he's going to submit those. He's already done Heart, which you can see in chat. And he's working on the others as well. And when he gets those in, we'll throw him over that artist badge. We do need channel point icons, and we need subscriber badges and all sorts of other stuff. So if anyone wants to contribute stuff like that, I'm more than happy to throw it up, at least for a limited time, and give shout outs and thanks every single time and throw the artist badge your way. More than happy to do anything like that. And Jack, you can only make the badges if it's in your cool 2D art engine you're building. 2D Fighter, 4 cups of caffeine, no sleep for me. Ah! Make your channel points fezzes. Oh man, they may be different hats, and that may be a subscriber badge. Different kinds of hats, because I think we're gonna go the hats route, hats and bow ties and suspenders. We'll see. Like I said, the top hat's coming in on Monday. I will do them, and you will see why they don't call me for the art. You wouldn't want my art. I want everybody's art. I want anything people want to contribute, and that's a very sincere statement. We'll be cycling stuff out. If people do submit things, it'll live on the stream for like about a month or so, and then it'll be up for grabs again. What size do the badges have to be? I don't know. Tobuggus! Your ears must have been burning. We've been talking about you a lot today. How are you, Tobuggus? Both parts. How are you doing today? And welcome in, everyone. It is great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. What did the fox say? Ah! Welcome. I'm sure you're really glad you raided in now. Did the fox say Morse code? Oh man, it's great to have you all here. Thank you for joining us. We are building a game about a dog that is in a race to rescue the soul of their owner from the underworld. So you can interact with this race through jumping, and that's pretty much all you can do is jump, and it's all about introducing interesting roguelike Hades style progression for those jumps. So you can go gather your tribute here, and then you can go to the shrines after a certain amount of time and spend your tribute you have earned to different gods in the nature pantheon. And as you invest in them, you get boons. You can see now I have an extra jump. However, the Godinator does not like Slagathor. They're jealous gods. And so now the Godinator is going to send his bad guys at us as we try and progress. So it's kind of picking how do you want to manage those relationships, pit the gods against each other, get different obstacles, different boons in order to progress. So that's the idea for the game. Welcome in. Hold on. We saw the shout out. Thanks so much. You're so welcome. Thyra Taro, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. You're so welcome. I noticed you dueled me with another shout out a little bit thereafter, and we had the exact same viewer count, and I thought I had just entered into some sort of Twilight Zone. I feel like the jumping direction should be going up. Yes! So the refining of the jump still needs to happen. We're moving way too far along the X and not enough up and down. So, whoa, Midnight Traveler, thank you for the follower. Congratulations, everyone. We're at 200 followers. That is relevant only because that's 200 people that we get to help and support now, because we are a charitable enterprise completely devoted to trying to help people gain the skill sets they need to enter the video game industry. So, Tobuggus, you've actually, the reason we gave you the shout out today is because we were talking about game jams. We were talking all about game jams and about your game jams. And I was telling everyone I really want to talk with you, with both of you, about how this goes. By the way, another shout out, Tobuggus is holding a game jam over the next several days. It expires on March 3rd, and they're doing great stuff. Definitely go, if you're looking to get into a game jam. I know a couple of people have just finished some, and they're looking for another one to jump into. Go jump into Tobuggus's game jam. Hello to the little one. Yeah, he's a little over a week old. Dual streamers, that's right. Oh, man. The refining the jump has been going on for longer than the distance the sprite covers. Jack, you're banned. Go wait for your test scores somewhere else. No, the really sad thing is I got the jump feeling really good a little while ago, and then I had to refactor the code and redo the collisions. And then I just haven't had the heart to go back in and try and fix it all up again. It's a very sleepy baby. Yeah, finally. And there's Narvin. Hello, Narvin. Still 5 days left. That's plenty of time to go make a game jam. If Alex Nord can make a prototype every single day and ship it out to different communities to get contract work for his game dev, you can build a game for a game jam in 5 days. Go do it. Anytime you want to talk, let me know. We're happy to chat. Thank you. I'd love that. That'd be great. Ever seen a week-old baby in my life? Well, here you go. Be glad you can't smell a week-old baby. It wouldn't be as pleasant. Oh, do you want to say hi to chat? You're being kind of vocal. Do you want to say hi? Oh, hold on. Let's get that face on there, because it was just the squirmiest. Yeah. Oh, and back to sleep. Okay. That Acerola Jam looks pretty cool. Starts tonight, solo only. 2 weeks, very cool. Congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. So sweet when they're napping. Yeah, when they're napping, they're great. I sent a message, but I believe Automod flagged it. Oh, darn it. Automod is so aggressive. Javasaurus, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, let's approve this. I just thought about it. I don't know if you ever heard of or seen Spaz. That'd be the kind of art direction I had in mind, along with gravity, physics, etc., and obviously collisions with walls. Okay, so if you want to do GameMaker, this is what we were talking about before you guys jumped in. If you want to do GameMaker Absconditis for your game, it can't have 3D, and physics you need to be very cautious with integrating very complicated physics. There's a reason most of the really good games in GameMaker are not really action games, or they're not very physics-based. Thor, Pirate Software's game, it's just moving up and down, left and right. Very good for that. Very good for a lot of those things. It's very open for dealing with a lot of more complicated stuff outside of that. Physics is rough. Like I said, I would recommend doing a quick little proof of concept prototype and play around with the physics that's built in. Play around with the move and collide function and see if it's going to do what you need it to do. And if both of those things will do the job, I think it's a viable option if you don't need 3D. Yeah. You guys are great. Oh my goodness. Future everything. Yeah, this guy's got unlimited potential here. Yes, K head out. Thank you. Definitely come hang out with us on Discord. Yeah. 2D Fighter. That's how my streams will start looking. Game dev dads, we don't have excuses. That's right. I can't wait to see your streams, man. By the way, GameMaker 2D Fighter is streaming over on YouTube. Building a fighting game, which is a lot of the physics stuff. There's a lot of juggling and all that sort of stuff. I don't know how he's doing it, to be frank. Very, very good in GameMaker. If you want to learn a lot about GameMaker, go YouTube search GameMaker 2D Fighter. And there's a wealth of content that he's putting out every single day. Not over the last couple of days, because his wife just had twins. They're coming home from the hospital as we speak. But other than that, he's a mad lad. He's pushing out all sorts of great stuff. I'll do that and go from there. Grats on the little one. Thank you so much. Absconditis, I want to hear how it goes. I want to hear how things progress. Please keep us up to date. To bug us, I'll go follow the example of your tiny one and sleep a bit. Have a great stream, everyone. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for your stream earlier. It was great being in there with you. And have a great rest. Best of luck with the rest of the game jam. Okay. There we go. Congrats on 30 plus concurrent viewers. Well, thank you so much, Shepherds. Big thanks to bug us for that. Always make your own physics in GameMaker. You'll notice almost all tutorials, they make their own physics versus using GameMaker's built-in, says 2D Fighter. That's interesting. I've never played around with their built-in physics. It seems like it's not that good. I don't know. But I've never played around with it, so I don't want to say yay or nay. Oh, very cool. Man, what a ride. Just tuning back in. Yeah, it's great to have you back, Shepherd's Hound. By the way, for everyone that's new here, we are going to be having an interview with Shepherd's Hound tomorrow. And, that's rad to have viewers on, but you may be thinking, why do I care? Shepherd's Hound has a wealth of experience in securing government funding for indie game dev studios based out of Canada, but a lot of these principles are going to apply elsewhere depending on your local governments. So you're definitely going to want to come by tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be chatting with Shepherd's Hound and learning about their wealth of experience. They did this for, 6 years, 7 years, helping studios get on their feet and as a part of a nonprofit. And then as well, they have extensive experience in gaming festivals and helping pick games for critique and passing games along. So it'll be a great discussion about the business side of being a game dev studio. You're definitely going to want to be there. Don't miss it. I'll stick around for sure. There need to be more devs streaming GameMaker Studio content. The space is very limited, sadly. It's true, Absconditis. It's very true. There's not a lot of people doing this. I've seen, I think Auroral Software has been streaming a lot of GameMaker recently. But, like, yeah, it's pretty rare that someone's out there doing that. Risky Biscuit, I definitely need that help to get the government to pay me back some of what I'm sending them. Nice, I get off work a half hour later. Very cool, Programmer Jeff. 6 years for the nonprofit, 15 as an independent artist making games adjacent things, says Shepherd's Hound. As well, they're a moderator on the Work with Indies Discord. Like, there's a lot going on with Shepherd's Hound. A lot of experience, a lot of things to learn. Definitely, you're going to want to be here. Oh, man. Okay. Let's throw our music back on. Bone Razor Minions was fun to critique, but it's kind of hard to critique on stream. It may be more suited to YouTube when I can pause a little bit more. This is something for me to be learning. I may want to be doing more critique sessions of turn-based games. So we'll take that moving forward. You're supposed to be sleep with your baby right now. Well, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you because I'm rubber and you're glue. Dad of 2 new babies. No, actually, we've got a shift system set up with my wife and I where I take the daytime and she takes the nighttime because I'm a little more patient in the day and she's a little more patient at night. So it's been working out pretty well for us. Oh, hey, you know what? We built all of our powers. We did that today. It's done. Let's go back into our spawner, and we're going to decomment everything. And then, oh, man, you know what? It is so late already. Goodness gracious, we've been going for a long time already. And we have an ad starting up in a few minutes. I'm going to snooze that. Ad. We'll do a few more minutes of game dev, and then we'll forward the love. We'll raid out to someone else as well. Have you tested all your powers? I have tested that they trigger. Excuse you, Risky Biscuit. How dare you question my competence? Never mind that it's right, and you're right to do it, but how dare you? First off, insta-ban. Please ban yourself, Risky Biscuit. When are you going to be the moderator so you can ban yourself is my real question. 2D Fighter, mine are asleep as well next to me. That's good. Stick to the system. Yeah, right on. So, that's up to you. We'll chat. I always feel guilty bringing up the moderation discussion to anyone, because it's like, I don't want to moderate anyone's channels. I don't got the time for that. I guess I just feel everyone else would say, ha! No. Okay. By the way, everyone, go follow Risky Biscuit. Risky Biscuit is making an educational horror game. It is just as intriguing as it sounds. It is not a meme. It is a legit educational horror game. You will learn how to read and write Morse code while being chased around by scary space monsters. Go check out Risky Biscuit. Cool dude. You know what? I think we better call it here for the day. I need power-ups. I've been thinking about good power-up ideas. Ooh, I can't wait to hear. Your brainstorm. We're going to raid out because I've got a very, very dirty diaper I need to change. And we've got a lot of people in here, so why not share the love? Let's go hang out with Odd Oculus. He's building a Heroes of the Storm style MOBA. He's doing a lot of netcode. He is a professional network engineer. He does a lot of cool stuff and got a great sense of style, makes all of his own music. Once again, lots of experience to gain from there. So we're going to go hang out with Odd Oculus today. With that being said, if you have enjoyed your time here, I have certainly loved it. We had a great discussion about game jams and what makes really good game jams and how to provide more value to things. And we got some good work done on the game. We did some good critiquing. It's been a wonderful stream. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Your presence is appreciated in a foundational experience of trying to make something better for everyone. So thank you for being here. Loot Productions, thank you for the follow. That was the end of that pitch. I totally forget. I'm so bad at self-promotion. If you have found value here, I encourage you to follow or even throw that Prime subscription or subscribe or, throw a couple $100 over. Every dollar goes to giving some more formula for this child. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you found value in it, and we will catch you another time. 2D Fighter, just don't miss the writing on the wall. There it goes. I'll be back. Got to change a diaper. Be right back, man. See you later. We're going to go on the raid. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for that wonderful interview with Shepherdstown. 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it.
Man, I love this game. Player 2 should be on both screens. So now that we can test it, Fox Hollow!
Yes, excellent, more souls.
Thank you for the raid. Welcome. How was the stream? Amazing. Programmer Jeff.
Your soul is mine. You can leave, but your soul will remain.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Nice haircut. Thank you. Yeah, I had to buzz. I had to just do a little reset. I'm still gonna grow it out a little bit, but just had to do a reset. It was lovely. Thanks for asking. Lots of progress and even planning out our first community game jam. Nice. I love the concept of game jams. I just have such a hard time with it because like I always want to like go too deep into the concept. Thyra Tarot.
Yes, my destiny is inevitable.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome. How are things going over here? I see the barrels in. Yeah, Programmer Jeff. Yeah, there's we got a couple of characters around here. That's cool. Game jam sounds fun. Better than the pizza party I got when I got laid off. Oh man, yeah, we were talking about the layoffs a little bit. So basically, I'm working on the main feature. There's a couple of things actually that have come up recently, but the main feature that I'm working on is the gameplay, the first gameplay ability. So we have a good amount of the gameplay ability system already implemented, but the whole notion of a castable ability is not yet in the game. So I'm starting with a basic attack, which turns out to not be so basic, but we're taking a bit of a detour fixing a bug because the player names aren't replicating. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that there is a name above this character right here. It says player 2, and you can see on the other screen that there is no name. So the name, we're sort of in the middle of fixing this issue right now, which is properly replicating the player names. And then once we do this, I'll push out another patch for the playtest, and then I'll go back to working on the gameplay abilities. So I imagine we're going to get this wrapped up pretty soon, and then for the second half of the stream, go back to working on the abilities. But thanks for the follows, y'all. Welcome. We're getting close. I'm so close to my goal now. Dang. Impossible, it says. Impossible. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Let me see what I'm missing. Some Loot Productions, you're helping out. There it is. Loot Productions.
Yes, yes, I need all of the souls.
It's me, Laser. And Risky Biscuit Games. Okay, I have to do 2. Just let that go through.
My power is unlimited. I will not be denied.
yeah, he won't be denied.
Get back in your cage.
Oh.
Welcome, Jackie White. What is it? Jackie T? JJ, Ack YT, Jack YT. One of those. It looks like J Jackie T to me. Call me Jack. I will call you Jack.
But your soul joins the rest. I will have my revenge.
My username is no longer worth it. Thank you for the follows, y'all. Welcome in. Is that 5 leaves? Revenge for what? That is a good question. We don't talk too much about the story of the game of Awesome. I'll give you guys a little overview. Let me close this down. So we're Ooh, what did I just close? Ooh, what did I just close? Who is the poor creature in the cage? Riema, welcome in. The creature in the cage is an imp. And the funny part is that the imp can get out of the cage freely. It's not stuck in the cage. It's just, you know, it just has, I don't know, it's subservient. So here is the game, Oddstone. And we're 6 months into dev. Just actually, yeah, pretty much 6 months. We've done 64 streams, or this is the 64th stream. Pretty much everything is happening on stream. I do some like work off stream here and there, and I study and different things, but for the most part, we try to do as much as possible on stream. And so right now, this is what it looks like. A little fog of war I like. I love the little occlusion shader. And then the barrel, we were working on this barrel because I was going to make this the target, the first thing you could target and like throw basic attacks at. So we're kind of messing around with that. I'm kind of noticing that I don't have the ability to sprint right now, which is interesting. Did I break something? Let me try that again. Maybe because I transferred from this map. Huh. It's kind of funny. Some things don't work in the editor the way you might expect. Let's try sprinting this time. Accidentally tripped, fell, grabbed a bowl, poured cereal and milk and got a spoon and walked back upstairs. I'd never accidentally fall and end up with cereal. Okay, I can't run. I broke something. LOL. But anyway, yeah. So we're working on this. It's going to be a MOBA. Yes, Programmer Jeff. Indeed. Revenge for what? Is it because I'm a Unity dev? Risky biscuit. No, there's no hate for Unity here. I started with Unity. I think Unity is a great engine. It's just because I want to do multiplayer, I didn't feel supported by Unity, and I made the switch to Unreal Engine because of the built-in multiplayer features. And Adder with the coin right away. Excellent. Yes, that will manifest.